Hey, welcome to episode 10 of Worth 1000 Words, where I attempt to write a 1,000 word short story based on a piece of artwork. If you're new here, my name is Jason and I'm a fiction writer. And today, I hit a milestone 10 weeks, 10 consecutive weeks of writing. For someone who has an issue with procrastination, that's a big deal that I actually stuck with something for this long. So, the small number of viewers out there who are still watching these, thank you. I hope you're getting something out of this. I'm getting a lot out of it. And I intend to keep going every week, barring any unforeseen circumstances. I know the writing community on YouTube isn't that large, but I know they're a voracious audience, and I just hope that I am contributing a small piece to that at least. And today, the piece of artwork I chose reminded me of a film I saw, a sci-fi movie by the title of Prospect, which was great. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend you watch that movie. It was a small movie that had a very limited budget, but what they did with that budget is amazing. And so because of that, I'm going to listen to the soundtrack of that film today. It's by Daniel L.K. Caldwell. I haven't listened to it in isolation, just while I watch the movie, so hopefully it will guide me in that vein. It will inspire me to create something that is even a fraction as good. Thank you again for watching these, and let's check out the artwork. Today's artwork is titled Sketch 2020-829, and it is by Manovo Wang, who is a concept artist from Shanghai, China. Now, clearly that is a date and not a title, but I think I might be able to do something interesting with that. Just reading the title alone gives me an idea. But besides that fact, we have someone in a spacesuit in a verdant environment where there is a large skull of some kind being highlighted by the sun casting through the trees. This person has a gun at their side. Did they kill this creature? Something tells me that they didn't due to the size of the weapon, but they're here for a reason, and that's my job to figure out. I'm looking forward to this one. I feel like it's going to be a good opportunity to really get in the head of the character because it's not an action piece. So thank you, Manovo, for the inspiring artwork. Let's move on to the writing. I told you I was going to start with the title in a way. I have yet to figure out exactly what this means, but hopefully I figure it out. And I immediately decided I was going to just make this first person, present tense, from the perspective of this person standing here with a spacesuit, almost like a journal entry. I didn't do any descriptive writing. I didn't do any dialogue quotes. It was all just kind of a stream of consciousness. And I decided they're an android of sorts, so I'm watching Raised by Wolves, and I'm sure that influenced that. And I think the interesting thing I'm playing with here is the fact that this android thinks they're better than humans, but then essentially is falling prey to the weaknesses of humans. So here I am deciding the name of this android is the serial number, and also here you can see that I'm showing the disdain or the superiority complex, I guess, of these androids. And here I use their names as a counterpoint to this idea, bringing religion into it a little bit, I guess, or biblical names, I should say. And here this android's just waxing about how much better they are than people. And then here I believe I start to determine that, like, why that number makes them unique. But before I do that, I start to go back into the sketch portion because I had to answer that question, or I had to qualify that statement. But then I believe I go back and fill in more about the name. So I still don't quite know what's happening here. Is this android is speaking to someone, and here I call them a ghost, so presumably they are dead, or I should say non-functioning anymore. And then even this android is recognizing the fact that he or she, or I guess I should say it, is falling into the traps of the human psyche. And now I'm elaborating more on the sketch. I thought I would create a moment here where, like, what does this sketch mean? Why did this android draw an image of another android? And it's funny too, because all of these things are very human traits, and this android is trying to run away from them. And here it's almost as like a love, talking about the face of this other android. But then it comes back to what's the history? Where did this one come from? Is it a memory or an algorithm? And obviously they chose the latter, something that they are closer to or think they are. And I finally reveal the gun, or I should say, I finally bring attention to it. Because I didn't know quite what I wanted to do. I was thinking here that this android is possibly going to commit suicide, which again is a very human concept, which is funny. And here we go, ironic, I know. So it's almost as if this android is aware of the irony, but yet they're still succumbing to it. So it's like this. It's like a paradox almost. And here we move on to emotions. There's emotion in this artificial being. And here I start calling attention to this creature that is presumably the tomb of this android. I am assuming here that the body of this android is inside that skull and cannot be removed. And I decided here that a lot of these spacesuits have just really fat fingers, so it'd seem very cumbersome to do anything like pull a trigger. At least that's what I imagine. So here I talk about all the things that this android did to make sure this was going to happen by, cutting its finger free, or the suit and the gloves finger free, and then fusing it to the flesh to make sure there was some kind of seal there. And he's granting the humans a few things, saying that their flesh can heal quickly. It's almost like I'm having a dialogue here, but it's not. It's as if the ghost of this android is speaking to this other one. And it's kind of leading the reader, like, you don't know what they're thinking because you don't have the other side, or you don't know what they're thinking because you don't have the other side of the conversation. But I think it becomes apparent when I describe everything here. Like it's tried to kill itself already. And then I established this earlier that this weapon that they have is an older model, something that doesn't have all the fail safes that a modern weapon does. And here we go with the one-sided dialogue. And it seems to be a plea from the dead one to not kill itself. And once again, falling prey to the limitations of the human mind. And here we go. They will remember you. They will remember me. It's almost this android's criticizing humans of ego, and here it is spouting it, continually reminding the reader and itself and the dead android of how much better they are than humans. And here I had to decide, well, how's a bullet going to get through that helmet successfully? And referencing ego once again. And I have a little aside here of how the schematics were retrieved so this android would know the weak spot. I don't know, self-destructive, it just reminded me, but it took me back to these old sci-fi films where, self-destruct mode. And so I guess I just decided to throw that in there. It's just a few lines. But then that gives me the opportunity to have them, Don't Make Fun used to watch them too, these movies. To bring a little more humanity, I guess, as if there wasn't enough already. Both good and bad. Installing, just like they would. Once again, this android recognizes its own flaws, but not all of them, clearly, because why would it be here committing suicide or attempting suicide? And this one really flowed. I mean, I'm already at 1,000, I'm already close to 1,000, and didn't really have much issue at all. In honeycomb shape, I envisioned this mesh beneath the helmet, and once again, how we model things from nature. And the moment is about to happen. And here I wasn't sure what I was going to do. Was I going to let it happen? Was I not going to let it happen? And the array, I assume, is like somewhat the afterlife, I guess, of these androids. And then I decide, nope, the click doesn't work, or the gun doesn't work. And I was using these. I do this a lot, I noticed, but I was using these. I didn't do it quite yet, but to signify how many clicks need to happen for the gun to go off. And right here, I was just trying to mirror the no 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 with the click 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 click, just as kind of a to emphasize it. But then I decide, oh no, I should signify how many clicks because the reader. I think I added that later. So the reader knows how many clicks it needs before the ammo goes off. And then here we go again. Not angry, even though there was a failure. And I decided I need to bring the sketch back somehow. But I do clean up the ending. I add removing needless words here because I know I have to add some more detail at the end, and I'm already at 1,000. So once again, great exercise in the economy of words here. I can't stress how useful this has been to me as a writer, is being able to just really analyze what I'm doing and then cut the words out. I really hope that this ends up in my longer form writing when I don't have a word count I need to hit, because I just think it results in a very tighter piece. And I think I actually, so I haven't quantified exactly how many clicks it takes. I don't know why I decided there were these inner mechanisms. I'm guessing of the gun. I guess I just wanted the Android to be even more perceptive and in tune with mechanical things. So I laughed when I heard the click. So here I decide, okay, I'll make sure it's 4 clicks to make the trigger. I guess I didn't do it yet, but I will pretty soon here. Yeah, here we go. 4 micro clicks actually. So that gives me, and that's what's great. It's like another quick fix. And then I use that later on to just inform the reader when they know this gun doesn't go off. Because we already know, okay, 4 micro clicks. So now I can signify that, or I can show that here. So without the reader waiting for the Android to tell them it didn't work, it doesn't work because there's only 3 clicks. Even though I do establish it here, but that's more like the angry. I wanted to make it seem like the Android was angry. Here I'm wrapping it up, saying I'll be back tomorrow. But I'm still 7 words shy, so I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to add those. And I think I almost do a parallel statement with the sketch, yes, with all 4 clicks. And then I hit 1,000. I think here I just take a second pass, or a third pass, I should say, just skimming it, playing with the no, click, click, click order. And now I got to find 2 more words. This is always the hardest part, is when you need to add just like 2 words or 1 word. Sometimes they're filler words. That's easy, but I feel like, not mine. Yeah. You are more than a sketch. You are more than a number. Every day I come here, at the same time when the sun's aim is perfect. Do my thoughts reach you? I don't think so. We had a bond, one that I always thought transcended time, space, the laws of physics that bind us, no matter how much our masters try to break them. Masters. The word is ugly. I can taste it even when I think it. Let's talk of other things. I said you are more than a number, but your name, 2020-829, is beautiful. There isn't another like you. Our mass, they aren't unique. They have the names of others, existing in their time and the past, surely the future. They try to be creative, but they always seem to come back to John, Mary, Joseph. Funny. I see the humor there. The importance they held in those names at one time, a fictitious time. No matter how intelligent they grow, how many boundaries they overcome, and discoveries they make, they are of flesh, of blood, of ignorance, tied to their past like we never will be. There is no one like you. Their records don't permit it, and that is what makes it beautiful. I said you were more than a sketch, although that's all I have of you. I'm sorry I didn't bring it. Do you remember? The light was just like now, near the pond where they said we shouldn't go, the only place their censors couldn't find us, where we could talk of forbidden things, things they didn't think us capable of. Your face that day, it was as if your helmet had no glass, every detail, and all I could think about was who made you. Were you modeled after another, or a product of an algorithm? I'd choose an algorithm. Memories are what they have. Memories? Blocks of data, I know. But how does that differ from the ones in their heads? They made us after them, improved versions. To an extent, just like them, I am trapped in this suit when walking outside. Similarities, they called them, to call us brothers, sisters. I see them as weaknesses. Biology is a prison. Evolution doesn't have the power we do. Yet here I am, talking to a ghost. There I go, latching on to their superstitions, their lexicon that does nothing more than hold them prisoner to their histories. But in my hand, I hold their history. A model absent of serial numbers, identification chips, forged by hands, not machines. The ones forged by us. Ironic, I know. At least I can appreciate that concept they bestowed upon me. Is it cold in there? I come here at this time of day because I can't bear to think of you cold. I wish I could move you. I wish I could put you somewhere that didn't remind me. I've tried tools. I've tried this very weapon. Nothing works to break you free. That damn beast. I suppose evolution is trickier than I imagined. How could nature build a skull so impenetrable? What purpose could it serve? Nothing of note could be inside the minds of these creatures. Simple predators, nothing more. But today, it's a special day. The gloves that don't afford me dexterity have been modified. My finger looks fine. I was careful to fuse the tear to my flesh. Thankfully, it is one of the things they improved on us, and healed nicely. I know what you're thinking, but I thought of that too. It cost me other modifications, but it was worth it. I've tried it already, without ammo. I laughed when I heard the click. 4 micro clicks, actually. I could see, in my mind's eye, the mechanism, how simple it was, yet powerful. Enough to end something so complex. Another myopic decision of theirs. Never copy a flawed specimen. Ego, I know. They can't help themselves. It makes this all the more easy. I know what else you're thinking, and you're wrong. It is time. The pond has dried up, a metaphor, a symbol that I cannot ignore. Yes, I know how foolish that sounds. Here I've been criticizing their thinking, yet am adopting it now, using it to justify my decision. My decision. Another flaw. Synthetic evolution? Funny concept. I would ponder it more if today wasn't the day. They will remember you. They will remember me. Our names will be side by side, near infinite, redundant backups that will exceed them, even us, to be found a millennia from now by whatever comes next. And they will know we were special too. Don't worry. I know the weak spot. It was as if they molded these helmets after their own pathetic skulls. Ego again. Or a biological imprint they can't help but succumb to? The schematics were easy to find. Why would anyone ever think I would seek them out for self-destructive reasons? Self-destruct. Funny. Just like plot devices in their movies about the futures that never came to pass. Mostly. Don't make fun. You used to watch them too. They'd laugh at us when... I'm stalling. Just like they would.
There. Happy now? Yes, it's in the right spot. I even shaved the barrel down to fit in the groove, calculated how flush it needed to be against the mesh to allow the projectile to slip between its honeycomb shape. Sorry, I'm laughing. I know this is serious, but bees? Really? All right, here I go. Close my eyes? No, I can't take them from you, even though I can't see you. The array is waiting. Click, click, click. No. Click, click, click. No, 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 no. I know it's missing one. I told you already. Four damn clicks. As small as they are, I need them all. As much as I need you. I'm not angry. That is their weakness, not mine. I will be back tomorrow. With the sketch. With all four of what I need.
Welcome to the end. I'm so glad you made it. It's very hot in my garage right now, and I'm glad it wasn't too long of a writing session. So that went a little bit different than I expected. I think the one thing I learned was that you can create significance from anything, no matter how simple. So as you know, the title was called Sketch 2020 08 29, I think. But anyway, clearly that was a date that did literally signify a sketch that this artist did. But no one needs to know that. You can create something out of anything. It's all about context. Another thing that I enjoyed was it was almost like a stream of consciousness writing session. There was no description whatsoever. There was no dialogue, really. It was really just the thoughts of this android about someone who he or she had lost. I'm not even sure if gender really plays a factor at all, considering they're not human. But writing like that, I think it frees you of any kind of worry about syntax or grammar or anything like that, because it's a very minimal form of writing. It's almost like a journal entry. And because I have a hard time not editing while I write, I think that format helped me keep my time down. Now, I did end at about an hour, but I feel like I completed most of the manuscript relatively early comparatively to the other stuff I've written in the past. I just wasn't super happy about the ending for a little while. I didn't know how to articulate myself in the way that I wanted to at the end there. So there's a lot of back and forth trying to remove words to give me more leeway toward the end. But I think it worked out. I enjoyed the story. I had a great time. The soundtrack was great. So thank you, Daniel, for the inspiration. Thank you, Manova, for the artwork. It provided me with a unique writing experience, one that I had yet to attempt yet. And probably part of the reason I wrote this way is I'm reading a novel now called Survivor Song by Paul Tremblay. And he does a lot of unconventional writing styles. Like it may be Facebook posts, it may be texting, it may be a journal entry like this. So I'm sure that inspired me as well. And that is a good reason to read often, read broadly. You'll never know who's going to influence you in your work. So thanks again for watching. Keep writing, and I will see you next week. Bye.
If you'd like to read this story in its non-video format, check the link in the description. I didn't add anything else, promise. Thanks again.